The plant pictured here is an orchid in the genus Dendrobium, also known as Dendrobium or the Dendrobium orchid. Dendrobium are epiphytic or lithophytic in their native environment. The genus Dendrobium exhibits a myriad of forms. Most species have elongated pseudobulbs that resemble canes, which range from a half inch to 6 to 10 feet tall. Leaves tend to be situated on the top third of the pseudobulb, and these leaves are medium to dark green and elliptical in shape. Here's a comparison of the pseudobulbs on Cattleya on the left and on Dendrobium on the right. You can see that the Cattleya pseudobulbs are wider and more rounded, and the Dendrobium pseudobulbs are narrower and segmented or cane-like. The flowers are arranged in short, clustered racemes to elongated racemes, and some have pendant inflorescences. Most inflorescences don't branch, but carry flowers in an alternating pattern along their length. Inflorescences often emerge from the top of the pseudobulb. Unlike Cattleya, you usually won't see a sheath supporting the inflorescence. Most of the common species and hybrids carry around 7 to 15 flowers per inflorescence, and many will have a short spur on the back of the flower like you can see here. The flowers can last from a few days to many months. Colors include white to yellow, green, orange, red, pink, purple, maroon, brown, and nearly every shade in between. Most are solid with a contrasting lip color, although some have contrasting venation. Some of the flowers will resemble some of the other orchids we'll learn about in this class. So I think the long cane-like pseudobulbs are probably the best way to differentiate Dendrobium from some of the other orchid genera that we're going to learn about. And also the fact that the flowers frequently emerge from the top of those pseudobulbs. Now I'll just show you a few other examples of the different flower types you'll see in the genus Dendrobium. Dendrobium orchids can be grown in bright, indirect light, around 2,000 to 5,000 foot candles. A bright west or south-facing window is a great location to grow a Dendrobium orchid. Dendrobium do like higher humidity, above 60%, and when you're watering, allow the mix to dry to around 50 to 75%, and you don't want to allow these species to dry out for too long. One thing that's very important to note is that Dendrobium orchids must be underpotted. So you'll want to pot these in the smallest pot you can fit the root ball in and allow for 2 years growth usually before repotting. Clay pots are great to grow dendrobiums in, and this aids with drying and also helps keep the plant upright, as dendrobium are prone to being top heavy. And this concludes our discussion on the genus Dendrobium, or the Dendrobium orchid.